What's up, YouTube? This is Boston Chris. Welcome to my channel, Boston Chris Comics. So here I am back with a brand new video. It's been a while. It's been probably close to a month since I made my last video. I've just been busy with a lot of stuff happening, summertime and, or end of summer, and just kind of getting, out of the mode of, random barbecues and parties and things like that. So as that's all winding down, I finally got myself a little bit of time to go ahead and make a video. In that time, I've bought a bunch of books, so I have a bunch of new stuff to show you, and I have some back issues that I'll wait and do another video on because I just have a bunch of stuff to get to for this video, and I don't want to make it, super long. So gonna go ahead and just get right into it. So these books are the new books that I've picked up over the past, month or so. They're not in any particular order. That's going to be for me to sort out later on, just because of the fact is there's a bunch of them. So just kind of, get them all over the place. But we're just going to get right into it. So start it all off with Batman issue number 53. Really nice cover. This is, let's see, trying to see the artist's name. Last name is Kaar. So I'm not quite sure. I mean, I try my best to keep up with who these are. A lot of the time, it's just I look at the when I'm going to get it, I just pretty much look at the the listing on comic Comic List. I look at it and then pick the cover. So at certain times I can recognize the art, sometimes I can't. This is one that I can't recognize, but it's really good though. Next up we have Infinity Wars number 2. This has been a pretty solid story. I wasn't able to get that secret variant that came out for this book that reveals who it is that is under the mask. Unfortunately, it's just one of those things where it's I think it's only like a 1 in 10, but that's the one that everyone was gunning for. So my shop probably only had like 1 or 2 of them, and didn't get there in time. So that's what happens sometimes, but that's alright. Next up we have Extermination. This is issue number 1. This is actually a really fun book. I enjoyed this a lot. I like how they're bringing Ahab out to be this major villain, at least in this storyline, and then the surprise villain of a young Cable. It's pretty cool how they're telling that story, and all these you get the alternate version of the X-Men, the younger X-Men, along with their adult counterparts, trying to figure out what's going on. So it's pretty cool stuff. Next we have issue number 20 of Star Wars Darth Vader. This is volume 2. Solid series, solid book. Volume 1 was really good too. Volume 2 is excellent. Definitely one worth picking up. Next we have Old Man Logan issue number 46. So this is going to end up coming to a close very soon. In the solicits are showing a series called Dead Man Logan, where they're going to go ahead and kill off the Old Man Logan, just because the regular Wolverine has come back into the Marvel continuity. He did his return this Wednesday, so now it's he's back into the forefront, and they're, I guess, gonna kill off the Old Man Logan or send him away, whatever they're gonna do to try to basically make room for the regular Wolverine to come back into the Marvel universe and be the premier Wolverine. So next we have Batman issue number 53, followed by Flash issue number 53, and then we have Sentry number 3. I have to say, I do like Sentry. He's a cool character. I think there's a lot to him. There's a lot of good that can happen with him, just because he's a flawed hero. He's got that schizophrenic mind that from time to time, he kind of loses it, and the fact that he's kind of afraid of his power, like he doesn't like the fact that he's as powerful as he is, so he tries to hold back. I like that he's so flawed, and that he's got problems and things like that. Makes him more relatable as a character. But next, following that, we have The Life of Captain Marvel. This actually is a pretty good series so far. I've enjoyed the first 2 issues. I like how they're giving kind of a backstory of Carol Danvers, and you know, they're getting into like her you know, upbringing and how you know, her family life had some ups and downs, especially her relationship with her dad, and then also you know, just kind of showing where the character's going, as well as this introduces, you know, kind of a Kree antagonist that's, you know, it seems like she's going to be on a collision course with Carol Danvers. So, pretty good read. Definitely, I think, worth picking up. Next, we have Old Man Hawkeye. This is issue number 8. And Old Man Hawkeye has been a really, really good series. Better than I expected it to be. I really didn't have any full expectations for it. I thought it was kind of a... I didn't know if they were just kind of, you know, trying to capitalize off the Old Man name, but Old Man Hawkeye has actually been pretty good, you know, and it's just been, I think, a really, really cool look at Hawkeye's future and just the future of, you know, where Marvel goes, I guess, in this, you know, timeline where everything kind of gets dystopian. It's really good story. Like, that's one thing I can give Marvel credit for. Like, for whatever reason, they're really, really good at telling these, you know, stories of these, like, really just, you know, dystopian and depressing futures, but, you know, and how everything kind of falls apart and things kind of, you know, you have heroes and villains that kind of switch roles in certain cases, and just to see, like, how, you know, I guess almost in every type of future that they have like this, superheroes pretty much get wiped away. And, you know, you just kind of have people doing their own thing, kind of being, you know, their own, like, either small vigilante or, you know, if you're a hero, you're underground. You're not doing it out in the open as in how you used to. And villains kind of roam free with, you know, no worries. And that's kind of how this goes. You know, I like the way that they did the story. And they do their best to make Hawkeye into a really, like, just awesome character in this. So, definitely sticking on for the rest of the series because I think it's a great one. Next we have, this is Flash 52. This is the Matina variant. Really cool art on this one. You know, everybody knows Matina from all his work that he's done. A lot of it on DC now. It keeps on, you know, just hopping from title to title just to, you know, do those covers and everything. So, cool stuff there. Next we have from Alterna Comics, this is Metaphase issue number 2. Definitely one that is worth picking up. You know, has a $1.99 price tag, which is awesome. And it is for a good cause. You know, the creator of the book basically wrote the story to be close representation of him and his son, just because his son has Down syndrome, and the little boy in the book has Down syndrome as well. And you know, he wanted to write it to show that, you know, no matter what, you know what I mean, strength comes in all forms, you know what I mean. So there is, you know, even if you have something like a Down syndrome, something that, you know, most people would try to, I guess, try to keep you in a certain way and let you know that, you know, how do I say this? I guess it just showed you that strength comes in all forms, and anybody can be a hero no matter what it is. So really cool, you know. And you know, on the JLS show, you know, we went ahead and had an interview, and it was a really cool concept and really cool book. So I wanted to go ahead and support that. So like I said, it's for a good cause. If you see it in your shop, pick it up. You know, it's just a really good story, as well as being, you know, having a good message and a good purpose behind it as well. Next we have Flash number 44. So here's Flash, no longer the fastest man, he's now the strongest man alive. You know, Flash got a hold of, I guess, some gamma radiation or something, turned into the Hulk. Who knows? Old Man Logan, issue number 47. Let's see, Infinity Wars number 3. So, again, really cool, really fun. And at the end of this is another Infinity title going to be, I think it's Infinity Finale. Not 100% sure what's going on there. but I know there's been Infinity War Prime, and then the Countdown to Infinity, so that they're really, like, just trying to pump that Infinity in there and just trying to, anything, and I think mostly it's because, the movie over the, over the summertime and everything like that, but definitely a cool read, so I'm in for it. Like, I like the way, I like the way the story's gone so far, so I'm going to keep reading it. Next, we have another book that had a low print run. Really just different book. It's pretty cool artwork. I would say simplistic artwork, and the story is definitely one that it's kind of all over the place, as far as like just being kind of strange, but in a good way. And that is The Rejected. So this, I think, had a very low print run of, I think it was like 1,600. So I was really happy to see that my shop had this. So I picked it up. Definitely happy to have that. Let's see, get a few more that I'll show you. So continuing on, we have Batman issue number 52. Let me see. So different cover arts than the one I just showed. This cover reminds me a little bit of the Arkham Asylum games. Like wonder if they had that same artist do that. Not sure. But next we have Green Lanterns number 55, and this is Hank Henshaw dealing with the Green Lanterns now. So pretty cool. Hank Henshaw is one of the guys who was responsible for the destruction of Coast City, along with Mongol, and that's who. If you read that storyline, that's what basically makes Hal Jordan snap and turn into Parallax. So really cool, cool book to pick up and have. Next we have one, and this actually. I picked this up on a recommendation from Justin from Exile State Comics, and it's from a company called Ahoy Comics, and it's called Wrong Earth. It's a really cool book. You have this guy named Dragonfly Man, or the Dragonfly, or Dragonfly Man, depending on which universe he's in. And it's basically split in half between these two universes. One is kind of like campy, like the old 1960s Batman. The other one's kind of a more serious tone. I would say, not quite the Dark Knight, but something close enough to it. And, somehow they're able to, the Dragonflies are able to switch over to the different universes, along with the actual main villain, who is, let me see, I forget his name, to be honest with you. What's his stupid name? Hold on. Number One. That's right. So, Number One, he's kind of a funny villain. I think I prefer him in the campy universe because he's funny in that way. But So Number One and Dragonfly Man switch places. And end up in the alternate universes of where they're supposed to be. And that causes a lot of trouble just because of the fact that, the Dragonfly Man from the more serious universe is not quite, sure of what's going on in this, campy universe. And then the, really campy Dragonfly Man ends up in the serious universe. And where he's at, even the cops are kind of corrupt. So the cops shoot him, figure out who he is, because they unmask him and then hold him for ransom in order to take him to the hospital. So that they won't take him to the hospital until he pays them money. Meanwhile, he's bleeding out in the middle of the street. So that's pretty, like I said, it's a really weird. It's a fun story, definitely a fun story. Good mix of comedy and seriousness, but one worth picking up if you can find it too as well. It's the first book that's been put out by Ahoy Comics, and there's also a small excerpt by Grant Morrison in here. So, definitely worth picking up. Next we have Life of Captain Marvel #3. This is the variant. I picked up this cover. It looked nicer than the original. This is a Joe Quesada cover, so you don't get too much Joe Quesada art, so definitely pick that up. You know. Next we have Seven to Eternity. This is issue number 11. So another solid series out of Image. You know, one that I've been enjoying since I started. Next we have, let's see, Green Lanterns. This is issue number 54. So really cool cover there. Then we have Batman number 54. This is Tim Sale cover, and when they first started doing these, I was picking up the Tim Sale covers, so I figured I would just keep that tradition going. Next we have Thanos Legacy #1. So this is supposed to be, you know, following up the, you know, Thanos Win storyline. So, you know, cool to see what happens with that. Definitely looking forward to reading this. It's written by Donny Cates, who did awesome work on the Thanos series. Next we have Old Man Logan Annual. You know, get Punisher and Wolverine on this one, and this is, you know, the old costumes. They did have the Old Man one. I decided not to get that, but take a look at this though. I haven't actually had a chance to read this, but I will definitely be reading that soon. Next we have Cosmic Ghost Rider #3. Another cool series. Definitely different as far as you know, everything going with the popularity of Cosmic Ghost Rider. You know, they're, you know, gonna go ahead and tell their story as much as they can and try to get this all, you know, out there. But it's been a fun story. It's been a funny story and a fun story on top of that. Next we have Bully Wars. This is issue number 1. This is the Scotty Young cover. So Scotty Young writes this book, and basically it's about this, you know, group of kids who are entering high school, and they have this one bully who, you know, has been picking on them since first grade, who thinks he's just going to go in and just, you know, run the school from day one. And he actually finds out that there's, you know, bullies in this school, that I'm just going to let him, you know, mess with people. So the bully of these kids that are all, you know, so let me put it like this. So this guy down here, where my middle finger is, bullies all these kids. So, let's see, bullies, let's see, 1, 2, and 3. So, this girl, her brother, and this kid here. And, what happens is that, they find a way to, basically, when the bully's getting bullied, he's, like, freaking out, because it's like, you know, he's not used to this. And then, he makes a pact with, the kids that he's actually been bullying, to try to get back at the kids that are bullying him. So the way it was described, it was kind of like, I guess, you know, your normal, everyday, you know, just kind of coming of age tale, with mixed with a lot of comedy and kind of a Hunger Wars type vibe to it. So I just figured it sounded cool. I was gonna pick it up and check it out. And Scotty Young covers always work for me because I like Scotty Young. So that's why I picked it up. And honestly, I read it, pretty funny. And I'll be, you know, sticking with it until it kind of goes south, or until I just don't like it anymore. So, next we have Extermination #2. Really cool cover. You see that Ahab is controlling the young X-Men. So, really cool cover. Mark Brooks art on that one. Next we have G.I. Joe this is 255. Yeah. So I picked this up because it's a story between Scarlet and Snake Eyes, and so Snake Eyes is dead in you know, this continuity. There's a new Snake Eyes, a girl named Dawn Moreno, and I figured I'd go back and check this out. And another cool thing about this, so it's celebrating 100 issues at IDW. Because the original G.I. Joe run at Marvel ended at issue number 155, so that was kind of cool, I thought. Next we have X-Men Grand Design. This is book number 2, Second Genesis. This is covering a lot of the stuff from like the 80s, and it looks like gets to, yeah, it just gets to the 80s. So I would say this is, let's see, up and until I would say the early 200s. Might not even make it to that far. Let's see. I think it stops around 186, and there's going to be a let's see. The next one's going to be The Extinction Begins in 2019. So really cool stuff. If you like Hip Hop Family Tree, it's in that same kind of art style from Ed Piskor, who you know, went ahead and did that, and it's got that, you know, kind of cool paper stock where it's you know, not quite newsprint, but it feels like it. It looks like it. Has a really old school feel to it, so pretty cool stuff there. Next we have Project Superpowers. This is issue number 2. This I think was a really fun cover, and you get, you know, Black Terror right on the, you know, cover. So really cool stuff. Golden Age heroes, you know, being placed back into, like, you know, the modern age here, so pretty cool. Then we have, as I said, Wolverine returned this week. I was able to get this little mini poster, Return of Wolverine. Pretty cool stuff there. And then there was a bunch of different variants, a bunch of different covers. I chose to go with the yellow and brown suit cover, just because that's the Wolverine I grew up with. You know, grew up in the 80s, so this is the one that I remember seeing for the first time. So that's what I was stuck with. And then, of course, because it's a Scotty Young variant, I got the Scotty Young variant as well. So really cool there. And then, last but not least, we have, well, I shouldn't say last but not least, we have a couple issues here. These came out for Batman Day, so a couple free books. So White Knight #1 and Little Batman. So that's kind of cool, because those are like, you know, the True Believers almost. Speaking of True Believers, picked up a whole bunch of those over the past month. So we had True Believers Punisher, first appearance of the Punisher here. True Believers, so this is the limited series Punisher #1, which is cool because this is a thick book originally, and you know, so this is a you know, one of the more thick Marvel True Believers that I've ever, you know, been able to get. Next we have Iron Fist. This one reprints Marvel Premiere 15, the first appearance of Iron Fist, so pretty cool. Let's go to Marvel Knights theme. So we have Alias #1, True Believers, first appearance of Jessica Jones. Luke Cage, Hero for Hire, first appearance of Luke Cage here. Let's see, this is Kevin Smith's, along with was it Joe Quesada and Jimmy Palmiotti, kind of just Daredevil. You know, I don't want to say it's like a rebirth, but just you know, just they progressed him onto that, you know, storyline that went on for a while, and I guess people were really big fans of it. Then we have Power Man. This is issue number 48. So this is the first meeting between Power Man and Luke Cage and Iron Fist. That's actually a pretty cool story in here. You know, I don't have this book. I've been trying to search and grab it, but one day I'll get it. I just don't have it now. So these are all placeholders until I can get the actual real books. And then last, you know, you have Daredevil #1. So this reprints, you know, the first Daredevil book. Pretty cool. And then finally, so getting to the end of this haul, we have the book that pretty much ruined Wolverine's comeback, which is Batman Damned #1. So this is, everybody knows the controversy with this one. This is supposed to be the you know, DC Black Label, where you have you know, just these darker, grittier stories that are kind of going to be, you know, the, I guess, you know, the uncensored, you know, adult-oriented comics, and everyone talks about, you know, the big controversy, which is, you know, there's some nudity in the book regarding Batman himself, and you know, that's what's, making this a hot book, for the mere fact that they're going to go ahead and censor it. And unfortunately, I heard they're going to censor the rest of the run. So these books are not going to be, so issue number 2 and issue number 3 that come out, are going to come out later, are going to be censored, not have the, I guess, same stuff that they were going to have in them before. So that I feel is a little bit unfortunate, just because of the backlash. But I don't know. I guess because it's Batman, because he's one of the most profitable characters that has ever existed. People, you can't have him. I guess the logic is you can't have him having these dark, crazy stories where he's doing things he normally wouldn't, and you can't show him, in his glory, I guess you could call it, just because people freak out because it's Batman, and people think that everything that's Batman, or that's everything that's on a character that popular should be allowed for kids as well. So I don't know, but I also was able to get the Jim Lee cover, so both of them really nice, both of them really cool. If you can find this book, pick it up. If not, there's going to be a second printing that's going to come out in Airbrush Away. The bat, what's it called? Bat Wang, or whatever they've been calling it. But that's my haul. I know I've been, this has gone on for a while, so thank you for everyone who's watched it up to this point. Again, I'm going to be doing a video with some back issues very soon. I just didn't want to overload it, because if I did it together, it would probably be like a 45-minute video. And as it stands, this is actually 27 minutes now. So with that, I'm going to get going. I hope everyone has a great night. And I don't know. Thank you for watching. And keep collecting. Happy collecting. I'll be back with a brand new video as soon as I can. I'm out. Have a good night.